What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nerd on the Podcast. My name is Tom, and today we're going to be doing a trailer reaction for this movie, 28 Years Later. Sony's Pictures Entertainment. Obviously, a lot of people have been talking about it already. I've seen 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later. You know, this is Danny Boyle, Alex Garland, franchise. Now it's a, proper trilogy, but it's a powerful story that has impacted the landscape of zombie films. I've heard nothing but good things, and we're going to watch it today. I'm going to do some reactions, if it's big or small, whatever, but you're going to get my actual take on it, and we're going to talk about it afterwards of what I think, how it's evolving the story or what it's doing in the modern world, because zombie films have always been more than just a zombie movie. Who am I? I'm a filmmaker in Los Angeles. I've done a lot of indie films and stuff like that, but we'll get into that later. Why does it matter? But, I'm just trying to give you who I am, and we're going to watch this together, guys. Okay. Oh, those are creepy. Teletubbies are the worst. Oh, God!
Auntie, what's going on?
Jimmy, sit still, keep quiet, and do not move from this spot.
Oh.
Seven, 6, 11, 5.
That's where I saw Jeremy Renner, 28
today,
weeks.
4, 11, 17, 32 the day before. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Don't
Waterworld?
Don't look at what's in front of you. Boot,
Oh, it's Craven.
boot, 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 moving up and down again. Men go mad with watching them. There's no
It's a great
discharge
shot.
in the war. If your eyes drop, they will get the top of you. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Try to think of something
Whoa.
different. Oh, my God, me from going lunatic.
Oh.
Again. There's no discharge in the war. 7, 6, 11, 5,
Wow.
4, 17, 32 the day before.
Oh. Don't play that. Don't play that. Okay. Yeesh. Oh, my goodness. God bless. Inspired choice. Props whoever found and decided this is the main sound design for this. Oh, interesting. Wow. So that trailer, huh? 28 years later. There's been so much discourse about the movie, beyond just what is happening in the movie, because I think a lot of people already get what it is, and have already associated a lot of the feelings with the 28 Days Later storylines. But the movie was shot on iPhone, and I think that's a lot of people are like, oh, shot on iPhone. It's like, look, it's so easy. But then you have like these $75,000 lenses and rigs and stuff like that. I don't know. Again, we'll have to see it. I mean, the trailer kind of gives it to us, right? And a lot of it, I think, is relying on the sense of the versatility of being able to move around corners and be very like guerrilla style shooting, which I think is what the first film really kind of prided itself on, in the sense of this very grainy and at the time digital noise, right? And now 28 years later, phone cameras have been so much more innovative in terms of like how well it can capture footage. This is not the first film to be shot on iPhones or to be shot on smartphones to begin with, but I think the kind of revolutionary take is more like some filmmakers are choosing to shoot on iPhones and not necessarily letting people be like, oh, look, the iPhone you have, you can make a feature-length movie. It's more like the options are there because it's never just the camera, it's the person holding it. It's never just the camera, it's the location you're shooting at. It's not just the camera, it's the microphones they're also talking to. So don't think of it just like you have an iPhone, you can make a movie. It's like that gives you some tools, should give you a little bit of confidence, but there takes a lot of craft and time to do that. But let's just talk about the actual trailer and the actual movie. 28 years later, looks crazy. I feel like it's a lot very grandiose, right? It's very, a lot of people liken Walking Dead of like the end all be all zombie world builder. But this shows kind of like how the world kind of has shaped, and it looks very, without too much comparison, it looks a little Last of Us-y. As well as like I love that giant, like to me it's like a Christmas tree. It's a giant Christmas tree of skulls, and does that mean is there like a sense of like a worship or like a religious tones? And of course the first movie had some things in that as well, but again this is just a high octane, scary running zombie thing that we have seen before, but now it's cool, I think, to see Danny Boyle and Alex Garland return to this, because I think sequelitis is a real thing. Like we're like, why haven't we done enough? Haven't we said enough? But when you get the original filmmakers to come back to do it, like it's why I was very excited for The Matrix Resurrections, which may not be a good example for many people, but it's like, oh, it's the Wachowski, I don't know how you say it, Kowskis, coming back. I know it was only one of them, not both of them, but to take another stab at the storytelling and can we do anything with it? And I think I'll always be there for that, where it's like if they want to come back to it, I'm here for it. But if it feels like it's some kind of corporate studio, like, oh, can we milk some more money out of it? I'm like, no, let's not do that. And like Danny Boyle is a very great storyteller and director in their own right without Alex Garland. Slumdog Millionaire, the Steve Jobs movie. Alex Garland, I absolutely, Ex Machina is one of my favorite movies. There is Annihilation, and I really like Civil War. A lot of people, for some reason, didn't. I could see why people are excited about this. So, I mean, this is, a lot of people were like, oh, what are you excited for? It's like, this would be a movie that I'm excited for. 28 years later, just because it's one of those cool, like, almost like Richard Linklater kind of things, where it's like, did their long con plan out? Like, is it like, did they really want to do this, or like was there a chance for a 28 months later? But like that's not a real thing, right? Or it could have been, because like 28 weeks later obviously was not exactly 28 weeks later, but this was just a really cool like tie in that it's like, oh, it actually can happen. I feel like that very gaunt zombie that stood up looked a lot like Cillian Murphy, and I don't know if that's true or not, or I'm just being like stupid influencer, like, is that the cameo? But no, I don't think it needs to have glorified cameos. I think it could just be like, oh, this is just a cool installment into the story of how the world is adjusting, affected, and how where we left off. Like 28 weeks later was a really cool difference in the isolationism versus like okay, cool, now we're trying to do the extermination portion of it. Now it's like, it looks like it's all about the survival, and it's like, where is safety now in the world? Cool. But yeah, guys, if you have different takeaways, or you thought I didn't do enough, let me know. Put it in the comments. Please keep this conversation going. It's always a discussion when it comes to film and filmmaking and storytelling. I like doing these because I get a chance to look at this in a vacuum without being super influenced by the internet and the loudness of what other people might have things. But I'm welcoming you guys if you guys have any comments or questions, or have any takeaways, or what's your favorite part of the entire storytelling of 28 days later. If you would like to see more of this stuff, please do all the things on the bottom, the subscribe, the bell, all that stuff. Check out Cardboard Champs, our Magic the Gathering Commander gameplay, as well as Nerd on the Podcast, to hear more about movies and from the rest of the hosts of Nerd On. And if you would like to support the show, check out our Nerd On Patreon, nerdon.tv/Patreon. We'd appreciate it. For as little as $1 a month, you can help us out. Until then, take care of yourselves. You know the drill. As always, Nerd On.
Nerd on the Podcast is proud to be powered by Focusrite, Embody, creators of Immerse Gaming, Odyssey, Amazon, and TCG Player. Enjoy the show. Thanks for listening. If you like what you hear, support the show by joining the Nerd On Nation powered by Patreon. Go to nerdon.tv/Patreon and get Nerd On exclusives for as little as $1 a month.